What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your man Stephen Bardo coming at you with the free agency breakdown for Bardo's breakdown. Hope you guys are having a great day. Finally got up at the time that I said I was gonna get up. You know, this technology is something else. But Nikki Lane Perkins was talking about this, and other people were sending me stuff about the NBA free agency situation going on. A lot of different players changing teams, some players staying with their original teams, but it's going to be interesting. Let's get into it a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm excited for this one because we've got a lot of different things going on. A lot of player movement, a lot more movement than I expected. I thought there would be more players that would stay put with their original teams, but it seems like there was a ton of movement. We'll get into that. But the thing that kind of surprises me a lot is that there's a lot of talk about next summer's free agency movement and teams trying to, save money to go after the bonanza. And I think that there will be more big name players, obviously, next offseason. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard come to mind because they'll have player options. But in terms of the frequency and the number of players that have shifted teams and the movement, I think this free agency season has been underrated. There's been a lot of shifting going on, and we'll get to it. I guess I'll start where I would like to start is from the biggest free agency signings, and then go to the most impactful. Let's see, them Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers were busy. They upgraded their talent. They upgraded their roster, no doubt. I thought they were going to do a few different things at the forward position, but we'll get into that. That must be Carol Poe Paquette. What's up, Lester McCarroll Jr.? I always appreciate your support, brother. Thank you. What's going on, y'all? Hope you're doing well. I'm about tired of you in these T-shirts. Still the beans. All right. Well, you asked for it. There it is. Get your Flying Illini T-shirts, y'all. They out. Go to flyingillini35.com and you can pick yours up. Printful, the fulfillment company, has been having issues with everybody's stuff. So you may have to wait a week or two, but go to Shopify, go to my site. You can order any of the shirts that are available. And you'll be able to hit me on my email, and I'll let you know kind of the status of what's going on, because Printful has really, really had some issues as of late. Let's see here. Oh, okay. What's up, OJ Smith? Good to see you. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I love it. Yes, sir. Fred Van Vliet, Rockford born, and he got paid. We're gonna get into that. So let me go into I'll go kind of where I think the largest money is, and then we'll get into the breadth and the amount of players that have been involved in free agency. So the first one, I look at Gordon Hayward leaving Boston, signing with the Charlotte Hornets for 4 years, $120 million. Now, I've read some media outlets mention the fact that they think Jordan paid too much for Hayward, and the fact that Boston moved his deadline date back a couple days to help him work out some logistics and things of that nature. And I don't think you'll see that a lot in the NBA. Maybe you do, and maybe they just don't let us know about it. And maybe this time we were privy to that information. But a lot of times you don't hear teams moving back a negotiating date or a hard line date. But they moved the date back a couple days for Gordon Hayward, maybe thinking that they could work something out maybe right after the draft. But both teams or both parties chose to part ways, and the Charlotte Hornets get Gordon Hayward for 4 years at $120 million. And so, from the standpoint, I love Gordon Hayward. I covered him in college. I thought he was underrated in college. I think he's underrated in the NBA level. His injuries have really derailed what is an all-star career, in my opinion. And so a lot of people balk at this number and say, wow, he really got paid too much. No, he didn't. I think I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the Hornets. They think they got their guy. And if he can stay healthy, with LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, Rozier, Devontae Graham had an excellent year. I think the Hornets have the making of making some noise in the Eastern Conference. So I like this signing. What do you guys think on that? Let's see. Somebody says, well, if I don't know who your name is, I guess I don't owe you a T-shirt, player. Let's see. If that's Boysaw, I owe you one. If that's Greg Boysaw, that's the truth. Lakers upgraded in a major way. Harrell, Schroeder, great replacements for Howard and Rondo, though they'll miss Rondo's IQ. Matthews not that much of an upgrade over Danny Green. I like the moves the Hawks made, though. Listen, Les McCarroll always comes strong, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first time to Bardo's Breakdown. We have a tribe. The tribe are the members of Bardo's Breakdown family. Lester McCarroll is one of the strongest members in the tribe. And he's consistent, always comes with strong comments. I like what the Atlanta Hawks did. I think they've upgraded themselves better than anybody. The Lakers did an excellent job. They will miss Rondo, but I like Dennis Schroeder. And the fact is, you've got LeBron James. He's really a point guard, right? I think Wesley Matthews is an upgrade over Danny Green because Danny Green to me was hurt. In the bubble, he looked like he was hurt. He looked like he was laboring to move. He's up in years, as is Matthews, but I don't think Matthews has as much wear and tear on his legs as Danny Green. So I like what the Lakers did in improving, but I do think Lester McCarroll, the Atlanta Hawks are the team, to me, that when you start with the Clint Capella trade till now after the draft and then also in free agency, I think the Atlanta Hawks have been outstanding. Happy Thanksgiving, Jeff Jarvis. How you doing, my man? Good to see you as always. Haven Mosley. What's up, Haven? Charlotte gave him $120 million. Tells me MJ still has a Gary problem. Oh, Haven, you caught me off guard on that one. That's pretty good, man. I got a chuckle out of that one. That's pretty good. I like that. I can see where people think that, but I'm more of an agreement with this. I'm more in agreement with Jeff Jarvis. $120 million worth every penny if healthy. I need a new agent. Man, Jeff, don't we all, brother? Don't we all? Great call. All right. Next up on the list, who, I thought he would get more money, but I love this decision by Fred VanVleet. A lot of people thought he would come stateside, avoid the Canadian tax structure, so he'd make more money. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. You guys, you tribe members know how much I love the city of Toronto, one of my favorite cities in all the world, right? If you win a championship in Toronto, like Canada has become an NBA country because of the Raptors and the Grizzlies before the Grizzlies moved to Memphis. It's still a hockey country. Don't get me wrong. The number one sport in Canada is hockey. But, buddy, I'm telling you, the support that the Toronto Raptors have in Toronto, in the Toronto region, and in the country of Canada is as good or better than any NBA franchise in the United States. I'm telling you. Hear me out when I say that. So when you see Kyle Lowry want to stay, when you see Fred VanVleet want to stay, they're set for the rest of their lives. Their children are set for the rest of their lives. Their grandchildren are set if they want to stay in the Toronto area. It's a very unique place, ladies and gentlemen. Probably the most diverse city that you're going to see in the world. And there's a special love affair around the Toronto Raptors. So I'm happy for Fred VanVleet. It shows a lot of maturity. It shows that, to me, that he's thinking long-term. Could he have gotten 10, 15 more million to come somewhere stateside, probably, because he seemed to be the unrestricted free agent target, the top one. But I ain't crying over $21 million a year, and I know he ain't either. To be in Toronto where he's comfortable, Nick Nurse, Kyle Lowry, the Brain Trust, Masai Ujiri, they have something special up there. And they're going to be competitive for years. I don't know if they can get another NBA crown. They're going to have to get another superstar up there. But I like this move. This one surprised me a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys remember this. David Bertans opted to not play in the bubble. You guys remember that? He opted to stay at home. His agent was brilliant in that all David Bertans could do if he went down to the bubble was hurt his shine, so to speak. I believe he hit like 87 or 93-point shots. He's a stretch four. Some of you were talking about Davis Bertans. Who the hell is that? And how did he get $80 million? Well, he's a stretch four in today's pace and space NBA. He's an excellent spot-up shooter. And for an athletic but often injured John Wall, who does a great job when he's healthy of breaking down the defense and kicking out, if Wall can stay healthy and you got Bradley Beal, one of the better two guards in the NBA, when those guys are clicking, Bertans gets a lot of open looks. And he's one of the best bigs shooting the three in the NBA. That's why he got 5 years, $80 million to stay with the Wizards. But for a player that opted out to play with his team and to get this kind of payday, he needs to give his agent a bigger cut than what he's giving him, because that was a shrewd move that is really, really paid off. Here's one that I was a little surprised at. Jeremy Grant of the Denver Nuggets, I thought he was going to the Los Angeles Lakers. I was almost set on it. But the Lakers had other plans. So he chose to go to the Detroit Pistons, 3 years, $60 million. I like what the new Troy Weaver. I like the new head of the Detroit Pistons, Troy Weaver. I like what he's building. I like what he's pulling together. Jeremy Grant is a steal at 3 years, $60 million, ladies and gentlemen. I know a steal at $20 million sounds a little like an oxymoron, but this guy can flat out play. I think he showed it in the bubble. He was a tremendous compliment to the Joker and Jamal Murray, right, and Paul Millsap with the Nuggets. But he became expendable because of Bol, because of Michael Porter Jr., and I can't remember who the Nuggets got, but they got another very talented wing player. So they could have definitely kept him and used him. Jeremy Grant is a baller. I love the way he's elevated his game. I think he shot over 40% from three-point land this year. He really elevated his ability to shoot the face-up three. He was always a great rebounder, always a tough defender, great length, great job by Troy Weaver and the Pistons securing Jeremy Grant. Let me see what you guys have to say. Oh, boy, it lit up there. Let's see. That Hayward signing was definitely a stretch because has he played an entire season yet? Yes, he has. It hasn't been in a few seasons, but he's played an entire season. Check back to Utah when he had some all-star years. He's one of, if you ask, Kevin Durant was quoted in an article about who's the most underrated player in the NBA. He didn't hesitate. He said Gordon Hayward. I think I heard LeBron James say that a few years back as well. So it may look like a stretch, but this is today's NBA, right? They got money to throw around. But I still think this is a great investment because I love Gordon Hayward. Always have. Always have. Oh, okay, Romero. All right. I'm going to figure this out, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't like my tribe members not having their name up. But thank you for sharing that, Romero. What's up, Rico Moat, original tribe member? What's happening? Congratulations again on your new position. Can't Can I tell him, Rico? Can I share with the tribe how you blew up? Let me know in the comments if I can. The Clippers need a floor general. The Clippers need a lot of things. They need a lot of things. I think the loss of Montrezl Harrell to the Lakers, they could have lost him to any other Western Conference franchise. But the Lakers, he don't even have to change cribs, y'all. He can stay in the same spot unless he don't want to deal with the LA traffic. But that psychologically, you saw Patrick Beverley come out and he was stunned that Montrezl Harrell signed with the Lakers. Stunned. He's beside himself. So, yeah, the Clippers need a floor general, but they also need a lot more than that. They probably need a psychiatrist because it's some stuff that's a little haywire out there right now. Schroeder is a nice young upgrade until the playoffs start. Playoff Rondo, says Larry Biddle. Maybe, but here's the deal. Was Rondo really instrumental in the Lakers winning the championship this year? He added to it, no doubt. He adds to every team he's on. But when teams are sagging back in the paint and he's at the NBA 3, I don't care how good your IQ is or how high your IQ is, that hurts your team. If you can't keep defenses honest, and to Rondo's credit, he's been able to work around that for the most part. But do you think that a Lakers team minus LeBron James, let's put everybody else on the floor, take LeBron James away, do you think the Lakers could have overcome the Heat with Rondo playing heavy minutes at the point, not being able to keep the defense consistent? It's the brilliance of LeBron James. It's the brilliance of Anthony Davis that got them over the hump. Dennis Schroeder will keep defenses honest, and he can break your ankles. He can get you off the bounce. He can get to the rim at will. And imagine the floor spacing now with a guy like Wesley Matthews that can shoot the leather off the rock. You got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who feels good about himself, that got a new contract, right? He'll shoot the ball better. He's relaxed. He's not in the contract year. He's signed, sealed, and delivered. Watch, he'll come back and play much better. He'll shoot the ball much better. So you've got Schroeder at the point, and you've got guys that can consistently space the floor, unlike the Lakers had this past season. I think the Lakers upgraded. Now, like I said, I love Rajon Rondo's move to Atlanta Hawks. I think that was excellent. The Atlanta Hawks have shown that they can take veteran players like Vince Carter and ease them from a transition of playing because Rondo wants to be a coach. Don't be surprised to see the Hawks offer Rondo something after the 2 years on his deal. I love that move, but I like what the Lakers did. I have a few friends from Toronto, and they are insane for their hoops and their Raptors squad. Yes, Rico. Yes, they are. Coon Ritchie, Jeff Jarvis, welcome to Winners. Oh, wow. Okay. Somebody got in. Coon, you are like tripping, bro. Somebody find out who Coon Ritchie is, because if he did this on the playground growing up, he'd get 50 to the head, no cover-up. You Chi-Town folks know what I'm talking about, don't you? He'd have 50 to the head, no cover-up. See, y'all didn't know. Y'all didn't know I knew that, right? I'm originally from Carbondale, but you got to remember, most of my teammates are from Chi-Town. A lot of my teammates are from Chi-Town. So I know what 50 to the head, no cover-up means. Y'all do too, that know. Oh, wow. Hey, man, Rico, I got to upgrade, bro. I have to upgrade. What about the Bulls pick? Who is he? Patrick Williams is a player, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of NBA scouts were salivating about. Don't get caught up in the fact that he was sixth man of the year in the ACC, that he came off the bench against Florida when he played with Florida State. Florida State under Leonard Hamilton has pros every year, not one, plural, pros on their team. He was a freshman, outstanding. Devin Vassell, his Florida State teammate, who was also a lottery pick, said that he saw, when he first saw Patrick Williams play, when he first came to campus, he thought he could be a #1 NBA pick. This kid has everything in his game. I've heard him compared to DeMar DeRozan, but I think he might even, with his body and his frame, he might end up being like a Kawhi Leonard type. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This dude is 6'8", with a 6'11" wingspan. He's going to defend. He plays hard because you can't play at Florida State under Leonard Hamilton if you don't do those two things. So he's gonna play hard. He's going to defend. His offensive game is going to blossom. He's got the right coach, Billy Donovan. Arturas Karnisovas seems to be a guy that knows how to build a franchise. He did very similar things with the Denver Nuggets. So don't get caught up on the negative press that Patrick Williams is receiving, because this kid can flat out ball. I think you guys will be very happy with this selection. All right. Where's my man? I skipped a few here. Let's see. I'm happy for De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento. I think he can be a great, great player, says Haven Mosley. Haven, you guys have heard me talk about De'Aaron Fox. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. I'm glad he got his money. I would prefer to see him in a larger market. Everybody can't play in a large market. I get that. Somebody has to play in Sacramento. I get that. It's just unfortunate we don't get the chance to see him as often. We see Trae Young, Luka Doncic, Michael. You're going to throw Michael Porter Jr. in that mix of young rising stars in the NBA. We just don't get it. We just don't get a chance to see him as often. But I hope that changes. And I want to see, man, what happens with the Kings, and they just lost Bogdanovich. That was very, very unfortunate for them. Trying to make the trade with the Bucks, something happened, and Bogdanovich had the right to refuse. He did. He ends up signing with the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are going to be a playoff team, barring major injury. But I like the fact that De'Aaron Fox got paid. Where are the Pistons going as a franchise? Asked Rico Mowat. Well, Troy Weaver, the new head of operations there with the Pistons, I think he's doing a good job. You get a Jeremy Grant. They traded a defensive guard to the Brooklyn Nets in return. I can't remember. I think what Troy Weaver's doing, Rico, is developing draft picks for the future. I think he's kind of taking a page from the Danny Ainge, Boston Celtics, Sam Presti, Oklahoma City Thunder playbook. And when you're trying to rebuild, it's good to stockpile draft picks. And I think that's what we're seeing from the Pistons. Obviously, Blake Griffin, the success of the Pistons organization really hinges on his health. But I think I like what I've seen so far from Troy and what the Pistons are doing. Okay. So Rico Mowat, congratulations, Rico, is the new sales director, the new national sales director for the Black News Channel, the brand new news channel that has started up. And Rico Mowat is a sales veteran, and he has just been, hired as the Black News Network's national sales director. So congratulations, Rico Mowat. Well deserved, bro. Make sure I got that right. If I got it wrong, let me know. But I think I got that right. OJ Smith, the Clippers are going back in the basement. I still think that the Clippers have enough talent on their roster to stay competitive. You still got Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Patrick Beverly, Williams, Zubac, and they drafted a big that was pretty active. I want to say, I think Daniel Oturu was drafted by the Knicks but traded to the Clippers. Daniel Oturu can play. Big out of Minnesota. He played center in college, but he'll probably be a 4 at the NBA level. But he can shoot it from with range. He can put it on the deck enough to get past his defender, and he's got post moves inside, bouncy, springy kind of forward. I think the Clippers are going to be okay. And Tyronn Lue, I think they'll be okay. He saw the experiment of having Kawhi Leonard in the load management and allowing Kawhi Leonard to live in San Diego. So he was not often, but he was noted as being late sometimes to practices and team planes and buses and things like that. And that rubbed some of the other veterans wrong. I think Tyronn Lue being on the staff last year, along with Sam Cassell, saw all this take place, probably took notes, and that will be one of the first things that they address. So don't think the Clippers will just fall off the wayside. They'll be competitive. They'll be in the playoffs, I think, because there won't be any pressure on them anymore. Kevin Hayward, how is it they didn't pay their franchise scoring leader, Kemba, but they paid Gordon? Suspect move. Well, they didn't have to pay Kemba. He's under contract. Gordon Hayward was unrestricted, I believe. Yeah, I think Gordon Hayward was unrestricted. Kemba was not up for any kind of he didn't have restricted or unrestricted status. He didn't. And so and Kemba Walker's right knee that's going to be an issue, ladies and gentlemen. When you first saw Kemba come back in the bubble, he had that bounce back. He had that burst, that quickness. But as the games wore on, I think that right knee started to bother him again. So that's like Gordon Hayward. Kemba Walker is going to be somebody that you're going to really have to monitor his health. Because if he doesn't have that burst and he can't get that quick lift off the ground for that separation, for that pull-up jumper that's so deadly, if he can't create the space on that, it's really going to limit his effectiveness. O.J. Smith, they're a broken franchise even with their overrated roster. I wouldn't call them broken, Rico. They have challenges. They've got to integrate Tyronn Lue. But I wouldn't call them broken. They still have a veteran nucleus that knows what to expect. They know what they need to do. They know they were all there when the wheels came off in the playoffs, up 3-1 against Denver. They know what to do. I don't think they're a broken franchise. I think that they'll have a much better year than we expect. Lester McCarroll Jr., Rondo shot 40% from 3 in these playoffs, I believe. They couldn't sag too much, but they did. They did sag. And if you go back and watch the games, Lester, yes, maybe he did shoot 40%. That was early in the playoffs. That was early. Late, he did not shoot 40% from the three. So you got to be careful with those statistics, because to me that was front loaded in the playoffs when they weren't really challenged early on. Those shots are a lot easier than the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. So although that statistic is there, NBA, the Nuggets and the Heat were like, go ahead. You shot 40% from 3 early on. The averages will average out. So I'd be curious to see what he shot in the Nuggets series and the Heat series. But I like that. Keep me on my toes, man. Thank you. The Lakers are going to miss Dwight Howard. He gave them quality minutes, says Haven Mosley. He did. But I think when you look at veteran players like LeBron and AD, I think they can do without the antics. Dwight Howard is a guy, he must be in his early 30s, but emotionally he's 18 or 19 years old. He really hasn't matured, right? And it's almost like he wants to be loved, because that quick move that he made, Now, I don't know for sure. This is what was reported. But he was waiting on the Lakers to call him back. There was an hour that went by. 1 hour, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about a friend. You're talking about with the Boston Celtics. I think the Lakers and Celtics have the most championships of any franchise in the NBA. If you're Dwight Howard and you got to wait an hour before somebody gets back to you, isn't that kind of where you are in your career? You're not LeBron James. You're not Anthony Davis. You're not Luka Doncic. You're not Jamal Murray. You're not Dame Lillard. You're not CJ McCollum. I mean, I could go on and on. He's a reserve that played starters minutes. But from the report that I heard, there's an afternoon. He's sitting around waiting. I guess the Lakers were supposed to call at one point. An hour went by and they hadn't called yet or reached out. And he, snap reaction, signs a deal with the Sixers. Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. That was a snap reaction, is it not? Because here's why I say it. You got the Philadelphia 76ers, arguably the most talented team or one of the most talented teams in the NBA. They were horrible on the road and tremendous at home. There's one factor in that, and that's chemistry. You can't have shitty chemistry on the road and win games. You have to be a collective unit. So if you can't win on the road, but you can win at home, winning at home shows that you have talent. Winning on the road shows you have character and chemistry. So Doc Rivers is my man. But obviously, there were chemistry issues in the Clippers organization. So Doc is coming in fresh off that, coming into the Hornets' nest that is the Philadelphia 76ers. Some people think it's Ben Simmons. I think it's Joel Embiid. The fact that Al Horford came to the Sixers and was ineffective. Al Horford, one of the quality bigs to grace the NBA in the last 2 decades. From a locker room standpoint, from an on-court production standpoint, from carrying yourself like a professional standpoint, Al Horford is as good as it gets. He was a non-factor this past year with the Sixers. He's with the Memphis Grizzlies and he's happy. So for Dwight Howard to be a veteran, to know all of this information, you can't wait an hour and 5 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes, even 2 hours for the Lakers to hit you back to resign you. Maybe they were on the phone with LeBron. Maybe they were on the phone with AD. Maybe Jenny Buss and Rob Pelinka, maybe they had a family emergency come up. But we'll never know because Dwight Howard knee-jerked and signed with Philadelphia after 1 hour. So I don't think the Lakers are going to miss Dwight Howard. I think they were, you know what? Now that I think about it, they probably didn't call Dwight Howard back on the time because they wanted his ass gone. That's probably what happened. Quite now that I talk through it and think about it. So thank you, Haven. Lester McCarroll agrees Schroeder is an upgrade. I do as well. Landon Woodards. I don't know if I've seen you on there, Landon. This is your first time. Welcome to Bardo's Breakdown Tribe. We got one rule. Come strong to the hole or don't come at all. Don't make weak comments because the tribe will eat you alive. Very knowledgeable people in this group. Okay, he agrees that they upgraded LA. 50 to the head, no doubt. OJ Smith knows y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Uh-oh, all right. Okay, Romero Norwood, yes, they are. Phoenix is looking real good, ladies and gentlemen. They kept Saric, quality big that can stretch the floor and hit you on the inside. They got Chris Paul. They traded away Kelly Oubre. Now, did you guys hear what Kelly Oubre said? He's happy to be playing for a franchise whose ownership cares about the team. Boy, that's a nasty parting shot, isn't it? Kelly Oubre, PSA from an old head to you. Take your money and be happy that you left Phoenix and you're going to Golden State. Are you kidding me? And you take a party shot at the Phoenix Suns ownership? Come on, young fella. That's not class. And what happens is that's bad karma. And I'm not gonna speak anything out towards that young man, but you don't want to put that out there like that because you can't win. What a lot of these players don't understand, these owners are in the same circles. They run in the same circles. They compete against one another, but they know each other, right? So, God, the guy's name, and okay, the owner for the Phoenix Suns, he hasn't been the most liked owner. I'd give you that, Kelly Oubre. He hasn't been the most liked, but you got to be careful when you do that. So Phoenix is looking good, even though they traded Kelly Oubre. You're talking about Devin Booker. They went and got, I think they got Devin Vassell. No, I'm sorry. They got Jalen Smith, a stretch 4 from Maryland. So you've got DeAndre Ayton at the 5, Jalen Sticks Smith, who can really play out of the Big Ten at the 4. You got Darko Saric, who's backing up both 4 and 5 positions. You've got Chris Paul. You've got Mikal Bridges from Villanova, he's starting to come on. You got a player. Devin Booker could lead the league in scoring. And Monty Williams, watch out for the Phoenix Suns, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be pretty good. They're going to be pretty good. Larry Biddle, one of the original Tribe members. Larry, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Great to have you back on here. Rondo allowed Bron to rest a little and not do all the ball handling. Plus, it's Rondo's defense that allowed the Lakers to run out on their devastating fast break. I agree, though, that Schroeder could be that guy and has the advantage of some youth. Great move if you couldn't invest more 1 year in Rondo. Good long-term move. Great point, Larry. You hit on a lot of points there, but I think you were spot on. Do you see any free agent signing for Chicago? Outside of Garrett Temple, Romero Norwood, I don't think so. I like what the Bulls are doing. I like what they're doing. If you notice, they're going for versatility. They're going for guys that can play multiple positions, that have length. Garrett Temple is going into his 11th season. He's been with 10 different franchises. He averaged a career high 10 and a half points last year off the bench for the Brooklyn Nets. So he gives some tremendous stability at the point guard position. So you look at the Bulls now. So you got Garrett Temple. They re-signed Denzel Valentine. I don't care what y'all think about Denzel Valentine. That kid can play. Multi-skilled. If he can stay healthy, you'll see he can play. Jim Boylan, whatever. Y'all know how I feel about that dude. Watch Denzel Valentine. He'll elevate his game. Satoransky, 6'7", multi-skill. Kobe White, 6'5", multi-skill. Now the Bulls they're big in the backcourt, long, rangy, right? Now you go to the wing. You bring Patrick Williams in. You got Thaddeus Young, right? You got Lauri Markkanen. You've got some size, length, versatility. So I don't think we'll see any more free agent signings in Chicago this year, but they'll probably load up for next year's free agent bonanza and really try to score big with a big-time free agent. Oh, wow. Coon Ritchie. Look, Kevin Hayward, Kevin, bless your heart. Because Coon Ritchie, you're a youngster. You gotta understand something, ladies and gentlemen. If you're 13 to 15, there's dudes your age getting 50 to the head, no cover up as we speak. Don't get it twisted. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Rico loves the new pick. What do you think of the Suns and Chris Paul? I didn't even throw Chris Paul in there with the Suns. All those guys I mentioned and Chris Paul, please. They're gonna be rough, man. How do you view the Suns now that they have Chris Paul? Got it. Lester McCarroll says, what's your take on Devin Dotson, the point guard the Bulls signed from Kansas? I love Devin Dotson. He got a two-way deal, meaning he'll play in the G League. He'll come back and forth up to the Bulls franchise, back down to the G League. He's going to be on the NBA roster. It may not be the Bulls NBA roster long term, but I like that pickup. That kid is underrated. He plays hard. He can score the rock. He's got a flair for the bright lights. When the lights are the brightest and the pressure's on the toughest, this kid can perform. So I love that pick. I love them signing him. All right, that's good. Everybody giving up congratulations to Rico. That's what's up. Appreciate you guys shouting Rico out. Romero, Lester, and OJ Smith. Appreciate that. What are the Houston Rockets doing? How come everybody wants to leave town? Because, in my opinion, Haven, they're coming off of a situation where they almost have to blow it up and go with a whole new system. But the personnel that they had under D'Antoni was so specific that now, it doesn't even look the same. I think Austin Rivers signed with the Knicks, so he's gone. I believe isn't Robert Covington now a Portland Trailblazer? I think I've got a list that I'm going to pull up, but Houston, and I guess their owner is broke from the standpoint of the money that he wants to spend on the Rockets, because he spent so much under D'Antoni hoping for a championship. They never got it. So now he's like, well, we're in rebuilding mode, so I'm not going to really open up the wallet like I did before. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, Rico. We all can agree with that. Thank you, Lance Burns. I appreciate the support. Always love when you guys come on. Thank you very much. Yep, Landon Woodards. I agree. Yep. I kind of hit on that, Rico. Romero, remind me who that second round pick is for the Bulls. Remind me who that is. I don't have it in front of me. Pelicans are about to take a big step. Playoff bound. Plenty of Greyhounds winning the floor. Lamont Simmons. Lamont, thank you. Drew Holiday is going to be a big loss for the Pelicans. He's another guy who's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. One of the best two-way guards in the league. He goes to Milwaukee Bucks. I know the Pelicans got back George Hill and Eric Bledsoe. I'm not a big Bledsoe fan. I think he's a little overrated. His shot has never improved. His game has not improved. He got paid, but his game hasn't improved. I'm not so high on the Pelicans. Now, here's who I do love. It's Kyra Lewis, the point guard out of Alabama. Him and Lonzo Ball can push the rock. If they're able to bring, I think they brought JJ Redick back, but I'm gonna pull up something here in a second. So they could be playoff bound, but that West is gonna be rough again. Coach Dave Davis, what's up, Coach? Thanks for jumping on. Owners talk to each other. Kelly, your reputation precedes you. Now your mouth can start things off on a bad foot. That's a coach talking, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Dave Davis is a coach. Drop the mic, Coach. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you. Larry Biddle, agreed the Lakers won't miss Howard. His style of play is out of step with today's game. Any good rebounder, space eater will do. And if he could make a 15-footer when open, it is all better. I agree. The Bulls draft pick is rocking Luol Deng's number 9. It reminds me of a more athletic version of him with more skills. That's a good comparison with the length. Yeah, that's a good comparison, Rico. I like that. I hadn't heard that, but I like that. Hoping I'm in here. Yes, you are, Donovan Lane. What's going on, bro? Original tribe member. Can't go nowhere. We can't have Bardo's breakdown without Donovan Lane, y'all. Donovan Lane is in Singapore, rocking with us. I think it's 4:45, 5:45 in the morning over there, or 6. It's real early in the morning. So I and we always appreciate your commitment to the show, brother. Appreciate you. How are the Clippers rebounding? Asked Aaron Janoski. What's his name? Zubac is still there. They drafted Daniel Orturu, and they got somebody else. The Morris twin decided to re-sign with the Clippers, so they'll be okay on the rebounding side. They'll be okay. Okay. Marko Simonovic is a guy that Arturas Karnisovas, the head of the Bulls, is really high on. He might be like that 7'2" guard that went in the first round. Guys that are really tall like that, they can stretch the floor. They can face up. They're more comfortable facing the floor. In today's stretch NBA, he's going to be a project, but he's somebody that the Bulls franchise is very high on. How are the Clippers looking after losing? They seem to be having chemistry issues. How have they solved them? Aaron Janoski, we went into that at length a little bit earlier. They still have the core of Patrick Beverley, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Williams, Zubac. They'll be okay. All right. Let me show you guys what I wanted to bring in here. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. But I will pull it up right now. All right. So here's a list of the free agent signings. So let's go through it together. So Markieff Morris returns to the Lakers. DeMarcus Cousins goes to the Rockets. So there's your question with the Rockets. They got him on a cheap deal. Bogdanovich, 4 years, $72 million to the Atlanta Hawks. So the Hawks have Trae Young, Bogdanovich, who's one of the better two guards in the league, one of the best three-point shooters in the league, right? They have Clint Capella at the 5, Collins at the 4, and they got they got another forward in the lottery, and his name escapes me right now. The Hawks are going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. They also got Rajon Rondo. They picked up somebody else in free agency. So they're going to be good. Marc Gasol is joining the Lakers on a 2-year deal. Think about that. You lose Dwight Howard, more athletic, better shot blocker, right? But doesn't pass as well as Marc Gasol. Definitely not a character guy like Marc Gasol. And Marc Gasol has a ring under his belt, like Dwight Howard. So I think the Lakers upgraded when they re-signed Gasol. JaVale McGee goes to the Cavaliers in a trade. Solomon Hill with the Hawks. Solomon Hill, solid veteran wing. The Knicks signed Austin Rivers, 3 years, $10 million. Etuan Moore is another stud that signed with the Phoenix Suns. Guy that can come off the bench, give you 18 to 24 minutes a night and almost average double figures. Solid pickup. Bismack Biyombo resigns with the Hornets. Sterling Brown signs an agreement with Houston Rockets. So this is what you're seeing with the Rockets. They got to go get lower priced veterans to fill out their roster, right? This is what you're seeing. The Mavericks signed Willie Cauley-Stein. That's a good get for the Mavericks. Think about this. When Porzingis has been injury plagued, Willie Cauley-Stein is a really athletic, defensive-minded center. So he could really be a key for the Mavericks moving forward. That was a subtle signing that didn't get a lot of play, but I like the Mavericks and what they did there. Here's one that nobody is talking about. Kent Bazemore to the Golden State Warriors. Kent Bazemore is a starter in the NBA. So you lose Klay Thompson to injury, which is devastating. These guys can't replace Klay Thompson. But you bring in Kelly Oubre and Kent Bazemore along with Andrew Wiggins on the wing, right? James Wiseman up front, Draymond Green in his typical point forward position. I'm telling you, the Warriors are going to be back in the elite category. Torrey Craig, a good signing for the Bucks. Jonte Porter gets paid to go to the Grizzlies. Damian Jones, another good pickup. Very athletic, big, defensive-oriented, good shot blocker behind DeAndre Ayton for the Suns. I'm telling you, the Suns could be top 4 in the West next year if everybody stays healthy. Brent Forbes, a good shooter from Michigan State originally, leads San Antonio to go to the Bucks. Henry Giles is an emerging big that signed a one-year deal with the Trailblazers. Jeff Teague is kind of an insurance signing. I've never been a big Jeff Teague fan because he's a two-guard in a lead guard's body. They play him at the lead guard position, but to me, he can't pass gas, so I've never been a big fan. The Knicks signed Nerlens Noel to a one-year deal. Here's another one. Brad Wanamaker, really good kind of third guard, first guard off the bench. We'll get, as it says here, we'll get significant playing time as Curry's backup, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. That's a solid signing, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We talked about KCP resigning $40 million with the Lakers. Tristan Thompson, this is big. Tristan Thompson goes to the Celtics on a 2-year deal. David Tease is really good for the Celtics, but he's not as athletic. And Tristan Thompson's been working on his three-point shot, ladies and gentlemen. I think you're going to be surprised to see what he does in the upcoming season. Glad to see Carmelo resign with the Blazers. I think that's a great fit. Elfridge Payton agrees to with the Knicks. We talked about Gordon Hayward. We talked about Rondo. Paul Millsap goes back for 1 year with the Nuggets. I love this because Nuggets, one of my favorite teams. They keep the vet on the bench, and he can tutor Michael Porter Jr. and Bol even longer to make them more effective. Gary Clark, a solid big, signs for 2 years with Orlando. Jeff Green, a veteran with the Nets. I think he's a chemistry guy that's going to be needed with the mercurial personalities of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I like that. Avery Bradley, 2 years with the Miami Heat. Ooh-wee. This is an underrated signing, ladies and gentlemen. Avery Bradley is a ball hawk on the defensive end. He can change the tempo of games solely based on his defensive prowess. The Lakers were fortunate that they didn't miss him because he opted out of playing in the bubble. But Avery Bradley with the Heat, oh my gosh. The Heat could very well be in the finals once again. Got a two-way player, John Concher with the Grizzlies. Once again, Phoenix Suns strike again. Who doesn't want Jay Crowder? And that's a bargain at $10 million a year for Jay Crowder, who can stretch the floor, tough defensively, great in the locker room, veteran. Great pickup by the Phoenix Suns. That's why people are so high on the Phoenix Suns right now. Trey Burke and the Mavs agreed, 3-year, $10 million. That's a steal for Trey Burke. He's a great fit with the Mavericks. Danilo Gallinari and the Hawks. That's who I was missing, ladies and gentlemen. So now you got Clint Capella, John Collins, Danilo Gallinari, who can really play the three, right? Trae Young, Bogdanovich. The Hawks are going to be rough, ladies and gentlemen. DeAnthony Melton, interesting player. Signs 4 years, $35 million with the Memphis Grizzlies. He's going to be one that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of. Very good defensive guard. Bobby Portis signs with the Bucks. That's a good pickup for the Bucks. He's another big that can stretch the floor. He can bang inside, take a little bit of pressure off Giannis. I like that. Raul Neto, league minimum with the Wizards. That's insurance for John Wall in case he doesn't stay healthy. This is a big one too now. DJ Augustine has turned into a very good lead guard in NBA. The Bucks have retooled their roster to be competitive. So you got Drew Holiday and DJ Augustine in the backcourt with the Bucks. That's a big upgrade over Eric Bledsoe, in my opinion. Anthony Gill and the Wizards, Christian Wood and the Rockets. Here's where the money has been spent for the Rockets. Christian Wood is a up-and-coming big who showed his value with the Detroit Pistons. He gets a payday, 3-year, $42 million with the Rockets. Malik Beasley returns to the Timberwolves. Rodney Hood gets a 2-year deal to go back to the Trailblazers where he played early in his career. Dwight Howard, his contract is for the veteran minimum exception. So there's Dwight Howard. Jordan Clarkson, this is a good signing for the this is good that they can retain him in Utah. I think he's a good fit there. Derek Favors goes back to the Jazz. That's a huge loss, in my opinion, for the Pelicans. I thought Derek Favors did a really good job because they're undersized. And so they lose a key cog in New Orleans, but Utah Jazz are going to be tough. Patrick Patterson agreed to a 1-year deal with the Clippers. Mason Plumlee, this is a good pickup for Detroit. Mobile big, can score. You saw what he did with the Nuggets. He was a great addition to the Nuggets. I think it's a great pickup by the Pistons. Jahlil Okafor with the Pistons once again. I think he's going to surprise some people. Here's Wesley Matthews. We talked about that. Dragic, 2-year, $37.4 million. And one of Illini's finest, Myers Leonard, re-signs with the Heat. So the Heat retain 2 guys that were important to their rotation. Here was probably the most surprising of the offseason. Montrezl Harrell signs 2-year, $19 million deal with the Lakers. We talked about Davis Bertans earlier. Alec Burke goes to the Knicks. Man, did Joe Harris get paid? Good for you, young fellow. Resigns with the Knicks, stretches the floor. Athletic wing player from Virginia originally. Gets a payday. Good for you. Jeremy Grant going to the Pistons. We talked about that. Talked about Garrett Temple. Derek Jones. This is a kind of a key loss for the Heat. Probably the most athletic forward in the league. Goes to the Trailblazers. And I think he gives the Trailblazers a look from an athletic wing. Obviously, Carmelo could score it. But Derek Jones gives you a totally different dimension. Marcus Morris is re-signing with the Clippers. So that's your question. Whoever brought the question up about how the Clippers are going to rebound, there's your answer right there. Jacob Portal resigns with the Spurs, 3-year, $27 million. Justin Holiday with the Pacers gets a nice payday. Pat Connaughton resigns with the Bucks. JaMychal Green, this was kind of surprising, right? Okay. JaMychal Green signing with them. That's a good pickup for the Nuggets, seeing as they lost Jeremy Grant. Fred VanVleet, we talked about that. Javon Carter signs a 3-year deal with the Suns. And the Clippers, here we go. Serge Ibaka goes to the Clippers. So that should answer a lot of questions for you guys in terms of what you think some of these teams when you saw them on the surface level, how those free agent signings filled a lot of holes and deficits for those guys. Let's see. Lou Williams is a walking bucket for the Clippers. He'll be great. Gallinari goes to the Atlanta Hawks. He's one of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why I'm so very high on them. Gasol fits in today's basketball better than Howard. I agree. Kevin Hayward. Be mindful that Gasol is also a former defensive player of the year and he can shoot the three. There you go. That Moore signing, though, that's key. Yes, it is. All right. Nikki Lane Perkins, you're never late. You're never late. The Celtics solved chemistry issues by trading Gordon Hayward. I don't know that he was the chemistry issue. I don't know if I didn't see anything. Nikki, can you expound on that? Because that would be news to me. And if he is a chemistry issue, I'd be surprised that another franchise would invest $120 million into him. Because as Coach Davis shared with us earlier in the telecast, that these owners, these coaches, they all talk. And if Gordon Hayward was that much of a cancer or a chemistry issue in the locker room, I'd be surprised if he could secure a 9-figure deal with those circumstances. But please expound. I'm not saying you're not right. I just haven't heard that. But please expound on that. Rico, I didn't see Isaiah Thomas sign anywhere. He'll be one of those guys that sign, before they go to camp. He's probably a third-tier guy now, unfortunately, with the injuries, because he was third in the MVP race when he was a Boston Celtics before he had that devastating hip injury. Yes, Gasol does fit way better than Howard and what you said. Jalen and Tatum didn't allow Gordon to get his shine. Okay. I mean, is that a chemistry issue? I think that's a team that had a lot of talent at one position. And then in order for Tatum and Brown to flourish, the Celtics had to make a choice on who the future was in that position. They chose the former than Gordon Hayward, in my opinion. I don't know that it was necessarily an issue. Aaron, did they trade him? Let me go back and look. Maybe you're right. I'm scrolling back up, Aaron. And if anybody knows, you do. So okay. It says here, former Celtics forward Gordon Hayward signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets. He signed an offer sheet with the Hornets in 2014 as a restricted free agent. However, Utah matched the deal and kept Hayward. Hayward's deal is fully guaranteed for all 4 years. So I don't see that he was traded, Aaron, but maybe I'm wrong. It seems like, remember when the Celtics moved back his date 2 days? He had a negotiating deadline with the Celtics to re-sign with them. They pushed that back 2 days, the day after the draft. And I think that it wasn't necessarily who Boston was going to draft. It was more to give Hayward time to see if they could restructure things. That's what I gathered. If I'm wrong, please let me know, because y'all know I like to be right more than I want to be correct more than I want to be right. Okay. Said he stayed injured too often. The Pelicans trade and extend Steven Adams. Wow. Now that's big. Steven Adams with the Pelicans. that changes things because he is really a great center. I love Steven Adams. Nikki Lane Perkins, you can tell she's a big fan of Gordon Hayward. Yeah, no, he can't. Landon Wooders. I like Tristan Thompson in Beantown as well. I think he fits. He gives him more size. He can space the floor. He's tough defensively. He's athletic. I like it. I think he fits in quite well. Yeah, I agree, Rico. Avery Bradley going to the Heat. That's big time. Yep, Lynn Holly, I agree. This is funny. There's this person on there that says RSRS. LOL. No one is watching this but me, bro. Yo, give me that shout out. Bucks will be nice, says Landon Wooders. I agree. And you know what? I believe that Landon, I believe that the Bucks have done everything in their power to try to retool the roster, address their needs that they had, and be more what's the word I'm looking for? More attractive for Giannis to stay put. So I really like the aggressiveness and what they've been able to accomplish. Okay, Hayden, I like that. Phoenix made all the right moves. We went through the free agency signings. Jay Crowder, you get Jay Crowder, you get Chris Paul, right? You draft Jalen Stick Smith at the 4. You could start Sarge if you want to, or Smith. Doesn't matter. They've got solid 10 now. They can go. So Etwan Moore. I really like what Phoenix is doing. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's unfortunate that you get trolls, but you know what happens when you get trolls? That means the show is going well. That means it's gotten a lot of exposure. And I have all you guys to thank for that. So thank you, Bardo's Breakdown Tribe. We've seen trolls on here before, but not quite this aggressive like we've seen with the young buck that's going to get 50 to the head, no cover up. And then this clown here is just way out of pocket. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to go through and shut off his, block him, but whatever. Hayward saw the Tatum deal coming and got out of there, says Donovan Lane. You think that's what happened? Because I thought Tatum was going to get the deal anyway, Donovan. I didn't think that was a surprise or anything like that. You know what I mean? But hit here, y'all, if you want to join the tribe. Who made out the best in free agency? Let me hear what you guys have to say. Who made out the best? Join the tribe if you want to. Text to 312-847-2739. Go ahead, guys. You want to join the tribe? Ask tribe members. I shoot them different things, specialty things. I'm definitely going to get behind-the-scenes looks for this year calling college basketball because it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. You're going to see how Big Ten Network and Fox Sports have set up studios for us to call the games from. So if you want to see some of that inside information, text 312-847-2739 and join the tribe. Love to see you on here. I want to hear from you guys. Who made out the best in NBA free agency thus far? It's not over. There'll be a few more signings, but the majority of the players that can really make a difference on each franchise, in my opinion, have been signed, sealed, and delivered. We just went through the list. Let me know what you think. And also, guys, Fly Online t-shirts. Look, I love y'all, and I'm being honest. When I made this, I didn't know that I had to hit one button that said transparent background. So I'm learning how to do this. I'm a one-man show. I'm learning how to do this. I've been rocking this. But the next time you see one of these, it won't have the white background because I figured out how to do that. Anybody wants to learn how to really create t-shirts and sell them on the cheap, I'm going through the process, so I can really help you out. Hit me up. You can join the tribe. You can text that number, or you can send me an email at stephen.bardo@gmail.com. If you want to know, because you guys know I'll share the knowledge I have. But these t-shirts, minus the white background, these are available. You can go to flyingtheline@35.com, or you can go to stephenbardo.com. Let me get back to the questions here. Lakers and Phoenix did good in free agency. I agree, Lynn. I think probably I'd give the nod to the Phoenix Suns, but the Lakers did well. Haven Mosley seems to agree. I think Atlanta probably upgraded as much as anybody. I'd have to say Atlanta and Phoenix are my two favorites. I'm right there with you, Haven. Don Green, I'm sorry to see the Rondo leave. Rondo went to the Atlanta Hawks. Bogdanovich from Sacramento, who was supposed to go in a trade to the Milwaukee Bucks, ends up signing a nice lucrative deal with the Atlanta Hawks. So you've got Rondo, Bogdanovich. You've got what? I've been looking at this too long. The Hawks really upgraded themselves. The best Hawks, Suns, Pelicans got the most improvement, I think. Les McCarroll, solid as always. Hayward went where he could get paid and be number one option. Smart move because it wasn't going to happen with the Celtics. Lamont, you're not a Celtics fan? I love that. Phoenix moved themselves to the upper half of the West. Couldn't agree more. Donovan Lane is among the consensus. Lakers and Phoenix. Oh, okay. Thank you for that heads up, Lester McCarroll Jr. I appreciate that. I'll definitely check into that. Thank you for that. Phoenix and New Orleans will be in the playoffs for those 7th and 8th spots. Wow, you think Phoenix will be that low? I think they'll be higher than that, actually, especially with Chris Paul. What he was able to do with Oklahoma City Thunder, they were the 5th seed in the West. Now, they had talent. Steven Adams, love that center. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Did I say it right? SGA. Dennis Schroeder. They had talent. Danilo Gallinari, he was there as well. But I think he has as much talent, if not more, in Phoenix. And I think they could be in the upper echelon. All right. So any closing comments, ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up? Rondo, Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Dunn, and along with Capella for the Atlanta Hawks, ladies and gentlemen. And Chris Dunn was a throw-in because he can change tempo defensively. So he might be good if somebody's heating up Trae Young. Throw Dunn in there to slow him down a little bit. Great pickup. Great call, Lester McCarroll. Avery Bradley going to hurt Kendrick Nunn minutes, says Chad Morrison. I don't agree with that. I think Kendrick Nunn has established himself as a bona fide player. I think that he'll be fine. I don't necessarily think because look, Bradley's a defensive hawk. He's improved offensively, but Kendrick Nunn is a two-way baller. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. All right, y'all. I don't see anything else, but check me out now. If y'all want, join the tribe. Flying Illini t-shirts right there. Go check it out. If you guys want to know how not to make the white box on t-shirts, let me know. But I thank you guys, as always, for you taking your time out. I've been on here an hour and 14 minutes, and we've had a solid audience the whole time. So I want to say, have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Check in on your loved ones. I hope that you can be with your loved ones in a safe, socially distanced, and mask environment. We don't want to add to the explosion of this virus based on super spreader events like family gatherings around Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday ever. And the reason I love Thanksgiving so much is that my family makes a point that we all come together. We can't do that this year. We just can't. I'm not going to put my parents at risk. My brother and sister aren't going to put my parents at risk. My children won't put their grandparents at risk. So please consider this as you all are gathering to meet for Thanksgiving. I get it. Everybody's tired of this shit. I am as well. But we can't get fatigued at the worst time, right? So let's be smart about it. If you're lonely, hit me up. I'll dance for you. I'll gobble. I'll do whatever. But let's be smart about it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? All right. Lamont Simmons, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Part of the tribe. Same to you, Dawn Green. Happy Thanksgiving, Donovan Lang, and to all of Bardo's Breakdown. Stay safe and healthy, Lynn. Happy blessed Thanksgiving to you as well. Mike Henry, another tribe member, just brought something in kind of late. I did not hear about the Ben Simmons deal. But Ben Simmons' sister has been known to go off a little bit on some tangents from what I've heard. So I'm not sure, but I'll keep an eye out. But thank you for that heads up, Mike Henry. Former Iowa Hawkeye great. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Please be smart, everybody. And let me see. I think that's it. OJ Smith is going to close us out. Happy Turkey Day, SB. Love you guys. Thank you as always for the support. We're going to do this every week. College basketball Monday, NBA Tuesday, both 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Until next time, y'all. Peace.